Plunging to nearly 15,000 feet below sea level is a journey into a mysterious abyss, a journey few humans can even comprehend. The Boeing 777 is about 200 feet wide, 242 feet long, and possibly so deep under the Indian Ocean that you'd pass the Statue of Liberty, the Eiffel Tower, and the tallest building in the world in Dubai on the way down, and still be only a fraction of the way to where the plane wreckage might be resting. Keep plunging, and you've entered a place sunlight can't reach. The Pinger locator is being towed well below that, 4,600 feet below the surface. Marine biologist Paula Carlson says at these depths, marine life is unlike anything most people have ever seen.
And then the deeper you go, you find less and less. They have to be very cold tolerant. They might not even have eyes. They may be blind because they don't need to see. There's no light down there.
Keep going toward the ocean floor, and at 12,500 feet below sea level is where you'd find the wreckage of the Titanic, which took some 70 years to discover and where it still rests today. And if it were turned upside down at 14,400 feet is where you'd hit the iconic peak of Washington State's Mount Rainier. Only after all that would you reach the spot where search teams believe the pings from the flight data recorder are coming from, 14,800 feet into the abyss.
MH370 is set to Beijing via Pibos Alpha departure, 6,000 feet squawk 2157.
Beijing Pibos Alpha 6,000 squawk 2157, Malaysia 370, thank you.
12:41 a.m. Saturday, March 8th. Malaysia Airlines Flight 370 takes off from Kuala Lumpur for what was supposed to be a 6-hour flight to Beijing. 227 passengers and 12 crew members are on board the Boeing 777.
All right, good night, said someone in the cockpit. Could only 4 words provide clues to help unlock the case?
In a search area almost the size of the United States, how do you find a 300-ton jet? 21 minutes past 1. The cockpit device that sends and receives radar signals, called the transponder, is turned off. Less than 10 minutes later, at 1:30 in the morning, the plane disappears from air traffic control radar.
Planes and ships scour the ocean, but find nothing.
In the search for Malaysia Airlines Flight 370, a source close to the investigation is telling CNN that the aircraft took a sharp left turn, then dropped to a very low altitude before it vanished from radar.
Malaysian authorities say they haven't found a trace of the 11-year-old Boeing 777 that disappeared over 3 days ago.
38 minutes, all seems normal. The plane climbs to cruising altitude and is on a direct path to the Chinese capital. 1:19 a.m. Kuala Lumpur Air Traffic Control instructs Flight 370 to make contact with Vietnamese controllers. The crew confirms in what would be the final transmission from the cockpit.
Malaysian 370, contact Ho Chi Minh 120.9, good night. Good night, Malaysian 370.
2 minutes later, at 1:21 a.m., the plane's transponder stops responding and Flight 370 disappears from Kuala Lumpur radar. 17 minutes pass before anyone asks about the now missing plane. At 1:38 a.m., air traffic controllers in Ho Chi Minh City contact their counterparts in Kuala Lumpur, who ask controllers in Singapore, Hong Kong and Phnom Penh if they've heard from Flight 370. None of them have. Meanwhile, we now know the plane made its mysterious turn, flying over the Malaysian peninsula changing altitude, disappearing at times from radar, only to reappear. Almost 4 hours pass before Malaysia mounts a search and rescue operation at 5:30 a.m. But the plane is still somewhere in the air. Finally, at 8:11 a.m., nearly 2 hours after it should have landed in Beijing, a satellite picks up a final transmission from the plane. Then Malaysia Flight 370 vanishes. Nick Robertson, CNN, Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia.